How is we going, Retro people? My name is Brad, this is Retro Style Spotlight, and this is your news, notes, history, and retro games to play for the week of February 21st, 2017. Last week's tutorial was all about the brand new ROM merging and expanding feature for Launchbox, which will help you combine games at will for your own collection. If you'd like to learn how this new feature works, check out the link below. In ROM hacking and translation news, Gun-Nac on the NES has been retranslated from the Japanese version by Zinc Oxide. The English version changed up the game in many ways. The main differences between the US and Japanese version is that the US version removed some portion of the intro and ending scenes featuring the heroine. They also tampered with the boss, which originally looked like a human fetus and was replaced with an alien. Check out the retrans patch in the link below. DuckTales 2 has also been hacked to now allow for two-player action. Hacked by TI or Ty, the second player is now Darkwing Duck. You can still play the game in single-player mode, which is completely unchanged from the original, but there is now a second-player option. The game has also had its slowdown reduced, as well as improved sprite generation on real hardware, which also enables a sprite limit. There are also quite a few other changes made to this revision, so check out the patch and readme in the links below. I am debating on making this its own show, so let me know what you all think. This would mean that RSS gets shorter, sometimes only 2 stories plus the ending segments. If this is something you'd rather see separated off in its own show, showing off more and more ROM hacks and translations every week or two, then let Jason and I know in the comments below. A quick NES Classic note, again, because you know this thing won't stop. The NES Classic was actually the 3rd best-selling console for January, according to NPD. The PS4 was first, with the Xbox One in second. This means, though, that at least for January, the NES Classic outsold the Wii U and 3DS. Maybe the bigger news story subtext here is that people are finding enough NES Classics out in the wild to actually make it chart 3rd. Where are people finding these damn things? Primal Rage is a fighting game series that is really unique to me, and it has a legacy that you might not realize. Originally released in the arcades, with many sequels on home consoles, a comic book series, a novel, and a toy line, the game reached higher than most fighting game series ever could dream. The original arcade game even has some unique ROM encryption, which makes the game extremely hard to emulate perfectly. Even official compilations that touted perfect arcade gameplay was not what it seemed to be. So instead of mainly ports, the series was instead moved forward with original sequels on consoles, or at the very least ports made from the ground up. There was even a sequel slated for release in 1996 for arcades, but Midway, absorbing Atari's arcade division, stopped production and the game was soon forgotten. Lead developer Chris Tang theorized that Midway saw this as direct competition for Mortal Kombat and was shuffled under the rug. Chris Tang spoke to Retro Collect about Primal Rage 2, and Chris expressed that Primal Rage was becoming extremely popular and profitable, but Midway did away with it anyways. The game was found in 2010, but emulation of it halted pretty fast, and is only now available in MAME. Chris Tang explains, quote, "The game started on Jaguar coin-op hardware, which was absolutely terrible, and honestly wasn't capable of making something competitive with other arcade fighters. We managed to find great hardware to migrate to in the form of PSX arcade hardware. It could do scaling and transparency, larger sprites, better effects, and many of the things that when you see the game now still look kind of cool. In fact, Primal Rage 2 does things that no other arcade game did then or even now. There were so many frames of animation that we kept the first few frames in RAM, played those when a move was performed, then loaded the rest of the frames off the hard drive in real time as it played. All the while, the hard drive was also streaming music and the backgrounds. It was a real technological marvel. There was custom hardware built for it to make that all work, which is why it took so long for emulation to happen." End quote. MAME 4 Rage 2 was finally released to run this game, and the game looks great. Rather than fight as huge beasts from the original, this time the players fight as avatars, humanoid characters that have the ability to momentarily morph into animalistic alter egos, which increase power and approximately 100% more claws with which to rip and tear. Now it's time for Retro Remix Song of the Week, and this week is Dracula's Madness, based on the original Castlevania, remixed by Sir Nuts. Based on Vampire Killer, this is touted as a funky fresh, glitch funk take on the BGM. Check out this remix in the links below like usual. This month, in 1996, Bahamut Lagoon was released in Japan as a Final Fantasy spin-off. Bahamut Lagoon is a Japanese tactical role-playing game developed and published by Square for the Super Famicom and released on February 9th, 1996. The game's development staff included many key members from the Final Fantasy series of video games, including Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi as a supervisor, Kazushige Nojima as director, and Motomo Toriyama as a story planner. Bahamut Lagoon was sold exclusively in Japan during the 32-bit era and was released towards the end of the Super Famicom's lifespan, potentially the reason why it never saw release in North America. It had been advertised that it was coming to the United States, but was cancelled alongside Front Mission. However, in the following gaming era, the game was fan-translated from Japanese to English by DJAP Translations in 2002. The game was also re-released twice on Nintendo's Virtual Console, once in 2009 for the Wii, and once again in 2014 for the Wii U, both times only in Japan. If you are a Patreon that pledged to be a part of our Patreon campaign and are watching this early, then thank you very much. For those of you who pledged at the producer level role, your names are now on screen, and thank you very much. If you are interested in seeing your name as a part of Retro Style Spotlight, the tutorials, and have it be inside of the Launchbox application, then head on over to our Patreon link in the description below. At just at least $2 a month, you can see live content like RSS early, and at higher tiers, you start to unlock things like exclusive Discord server access, producer credits, and a personal hangout with the Launchbox team. Any dollar amount anyone pledges to our campaign is helping us create a better product, and we could not thank you all enough. So that was Retro Style Spotlight for the week of February 21st, 2017. All of the relevant links to everything you heard in this edition of RSS will be in the description below. Remember, you can sign in for a Launchbox Forum account, and if Launchbox has given you a beautiful library of games, then why not purchase a premium license of Launchbox for $20 to access Big Box, which is a controller and couch-oriented version of Launchbox. Jason and I, along with the rest of the team, have a lot planned for our community, so if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, we're doing a tutorial video every Friday, live developer sessions, Launchbox news, Q&As, and a ton more content in the future. Let us know what you think of RSS and any feedback you may have on it in the comments below. My name is Brad, the link to my channel is also below, and remember, freaks and geeks, to play more games, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day!